Okay, so we're going to do a calibration. To get this set up, you've got to have the rig aligned with the target. At the moment, it's sitting at 140 centimeters off the ground. That is as close to parallel to the ground as I can get, reasonably, and perpendicular to the screen. I've got all 4 cameras positioned where I want them, and at the moment I'm leaving them there until I see what the screen gives me. I'm now going to go into the appropriate calibration capture screen, which shows me all 4 things. Now 3 of these are okay, 1 of them's pretty crap. I'm moving this little ROI box. I find that if I move it into the reasonably dark areas, it's the most effective in terms of the outputs. Now this one here, the bottom left, I'm going to need to move the camera, so I'm going to rely on the images that's captured on the screen for you to be able to see what's going on. It's a bit fiddly, but you've got to allow enough room so that you get as much of the target image as you can, and ideally you want the bottom of the image to be as close to parallel to the bottom of the screen. The area that gives you the most problems normally is the sides, specifically the corners. Now I'm just going to put the camera down a second. Here you'll see that I'm moving the target so it's a little bit further away from the crossbar of the rig, so I can get a slightly better separation here between the black square and the white. The other thing to watch is the pole here. You need to make sure that it doesn't obscure any of the black bits there. This bit's less important, but I do try to keep that cut out. I'm going to go now and push the go button and see what we get. Obviously the rig's there, it's not going anywhere. I'm now doing the capture. It's showing me 8 images. I basically go around the 4 corners of each of the 8 images in my eye and make sure that they're all clear and that there's nothing obscuring the image. I'm going to save this now. Having saved it, I can close the software out, exit the application, and then I'm going to load the multi-camera network calibration tool, the offline tool. As is reminding us, I'm accepting the default parameters. I don't want retain debugging. Now this is asking for a calibration grid. This is the grid that basically draws mathematically what the calibration target looks like, so that the system has got something to use as a, well, if you're saying calibrations are before and after, this is sort of telling it what the before box looks like. Reminds you that it needs to be set for the height. You might remember I said it was set at 140, which I've now set into the system. And now I'm going to bring in the images that I have just saved from my calibration capture process. Obviously it's important to make sure you pick up the right ones, and now you select on something that ends in TIFF. You get 2 boxes, that one's good to see. Down here you've got image rows, image columns, you've got the number of grids, the sizes, calibration grid numbers 1 and 2, so that all looks good. That's just, now what we're going to do is we're going to tell the system which of the 2 calibration targets is number 1, which is that one, and which one is number 2, which is that one. Now just to be clear, there's a 1 in that little corner, it's a yellow one, and there's a 2 in that corner there. You have to do this twice because there are 2 views of it. So I'm now going to say this is the top one, so again that's number 1, and that's confirmed with the yellow dot there. You've already done this before, do you want to do it again? Just say no. And here is the same again. I'm a bit worried about the amount of light behind that one, but I think we should be all right. Now, this is saying to the system, where are the grids that I need to be looking for? There's lots of black things out there and I might make a mistake, so give me a closer idea of where the points are. I need to find 54 points and I will show them to you with a red dot. And if the red points are all on the chart and every intersection's got a point, you've generally done it right. 54 is the most important number. Now that's good, I'm happy with that, so I just got to press enter and then it brings up the next one, and then I'm just going to repeat the process, making sure that I get all of the corners in. Now if you look on the right hand corner, you'll see where that's moving there. That will work, that will work, that will not work. Sometimes the reflection, as you can see on the silver panel, is a bit intense, so I go fairly close to the line, try to keep it out. And again, I've got 54, all the red dots are on the appropriate pane, I'm happy. Now, as things go a bit more away from orthogonal to the wall, it gets a bit harder, but again, it looks like we have a full house. One of the tricks I have realized where this often falls down is not so much on the top side, but the bottom side. And it's generally where the target is less than 50 centimeters away from the camera at a given point. Thankfully, it's come back saying that's good. That seems to be the most consistent causer of problems in terms of getting the calibration right. Now this one, as you can see at the bottom, it's getting pretty close, but that one should work okay. I'm going out of my way to make sure I'm pretty tight on the corners. Okay, so we're getting there. This one might be fun. Wahoo. If you don't get it, it comes up and says, do it again, and you just do it again. Thankfully I've got all of those, and it's now going through the process. What that means in the background is I don't really know, but it's telling me all 4 cameras. Now, these are George questions. I just say no and no. It shows me that now, thinking of calibration as being trying to get from before to after, or known to unknown, whatever. One is a guesstimate, one is what the camera sees, and then it'll mathematically move from one to the other. So that's just one of them. If you want, you can put them into perspective. But obviously the one with a few holes and lumps and bumps in it is the image, and then this one here is the one that it sort of wants to see. I'm going to press Q for to keep that, and then it moves on. I go through the saving process. This is the second one. Again, the lower one is the one that's come from the camera. The top one is the system against which we're calibrating against. The big red box is the selected area that covers everything, or the envelope, and we can ignore that, just hoping that everything stays within the envelope. Okay, so that's number 2, and we move to number 3. Again, similar position. Don't worry about the gaps in there, although that's not a particularly great image. It's not terrible. It comes down to black and white's kind of funny. It doesn't always work beautifully. It doesn't seem to have a problem. And again, this one's seemingly a slightly better image. And this is now the final one where it's basically said, okay, well, they're all in the one spot. I've got 54 points that prescribe a plane. or pretty much a plane. As you can see, there's a slight convection in the middle of it, which is probably not totally out of the odds of reality. So this is what it's saying is the transformed data set. These are those points relative to the cameras, for each of the cameras. So they've all been aligned. For some reason it doesn't always show 4. And now it's saying, yeah, that's what it looks like. And you have to say, yes, I want to save it. Yes, I want to save that. Yes, I want to save that in landscape mode. Yes, yes, yes. Then it's giving you a little summary. Unfortunately, there are no numbers to give you a quantitative assessment of the quality of the calibration, but this is all we have. So that is that. The calibration is now finished.